Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to discuss the subject on the involvement of niche technologies, which are, as we see them in the war in Ukraine, and as they will flow in later times. I'm grateful to the Army Commander. He set the pace for our talk by making a reference to the changes which are coming through in war fighting. He also did mention the need for history and the need to refer back to history or learn lessons from history. So we try and balance the subject here. We are a panel which consists of a mix of veterans and serving officers. On stage are the specialists. We will initially start this panel with a 4 minutes brief by each. After that, the experts will build on their subject. As far as the war is concerned, the very first technology that we want to see were the switchblade drones, the kamikaze kind, and also the Javelin missiles. These were the things which hit the Russians really hard, and they were rather confused. Next, in line for these niche technologies were communications. The Ukrainians built up their cellular systems in a manner which they afforded large bandwidth and availability to all, including the civilians. In fact, by having these to the civilians, they could create a civilian information system. They were reporting, the civilians were reporting Russian targets by using their mobile phones. Complete accuracy in terms of coordinates and also sharing photographs and videos which allowed the intelligence to hit those targets. Backed by these early successes, the Russians launched the hypersonic missile, which travels at the speed of about 5 to 25 times the speed of sound. These are very accurate and they cause a flutter as far as the world was concerned. By mid-June, the Ukrainians had been gifted the high mobility rocket system, popularly called the HIMARS, with its range of 75 kilometers and precision of 20 feet, and the targets that they hit, the Ukrainians were motivated to launch their counter-offensive. Later, as we can see in November, the Russians too struck back with technology. They used their own drones, they used the missiles carried on aircraft, and they have been hitting numerous targets in Ukraine of infrastructure and specifically those connected with electricity. Both the sides, however, have been found lacking, in my appreciation, in electronic warfare, anti-drone measures, and air defense, which are the core competencies of niche technologies, defensive umbrella. Winter is here and in Ukraine, ladies and gentlemen. The coldest is Luhansk at minus 6.5 degrees centigrade. Kiev is at minus 4 degrees centigrade, and there is light snow in most areas. Satellite images of yesterday show an interesting pattern. Ukraine is dark, Russia and Europe is still well lit. So Ukraine is facing a big challenge. Also, experts predict that gas and coal reserves will be critical if there is even just situation report as of the 283rd day of the war. The opening expert shot of this session will go to General Rajesh Pushkar, who will give us a perspective on the why of the war. With his experience as the defense attaché in Russia, Belarus and Armenia, we can expect to hear more than what is available on the media portfolio. So over to General Rajesh.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor to speak to an esteemed audience here. I'd like to, give you a perspective of the war and as to why it happened. I'd start by making a statement that war, however essential it is, should be the last instrument of statecraft. War is not good for anyone. But however, as military men, as soldiers, we need to understand why this war took place. Was there ever a genocide there? Firstly, we'll take you a little bit into history. In the late 9th century, the Kievan Rus was the kingdom that was started by Prince Rud. It was a kingdom which started in the Baltics and down till the Black Sea. And that is where Russia was born. Rus is the name of the Swedish oarmen who were there. And then this race started moving eastwards till wherever, and then Catherine the Great took it till Siberia and even Alaska. So the roots of this conflict actually start from here. They are the same race. They are married to each other. So anything that is happening between them is actually, it hurts both the sides. Every body bag hurts both the sides. Everything was okay till 2000. In 1954, Crimea was gifted from Russia to Ukraine because they were part of the same country, the Soviets. So that was one portion of it. Everything was okay till 1990 when they broke up, and even later, up to 2013. In 2013, the Euromaidan protest took place, where Yankovic was overthrown and they had an interim government, and they had then a sort of totally West-leaning personality called Peter Poroshenko. And then after that, we had Zelensky. But what happened in 2014 is that the little green Russians, that is the Wagners, they took over Crimea in the operation, of course, led by Valery Gerasimov. And once they took over that, something happened in Donbass. That was an area which were Russian-speaking, which consists of the Luhansk and the Donetsk regions. I think we have the map there. And there was a fight between the Wagner army and a battalion that was raised, which was called the Azovs, which the Russians called as the Nazis being removed. There were two accords signed, the Minsk I and Minsk II, and to be monitored by the Normandy IV. Unfortunately, those accords didn't. And as per the Russians, there was a total genocide. There were a lot of ways in which, so this was broadly as to. So, as we speak, we say that the war started on 24th of February. No. The war started actually in 2014. It was not a regular war, it was an irregular war. Russians wanted NATO expansion to stop. They said that, they don't want their race to be threatened, they don't want nuclear deployments. But somehow, there was a pseudo statements made by the Ukrainians. I'd like to give a very interesting perspective on the Russians. Russians are risk takers. They are actually risk takers. They can just take off on a Mi-17 and the pilot just looks out of the window and he finds a flat place and he lands the aircraft. I have attended exercises in Russia where within a span of 40 minutes, you have rifles firing, you have PMPs, you have tanks, you have missiles, you have attack helicopters, you have aircraft, you have heliborne, you have SSB within 40 minutes in the same space. If people are interested in studying, there is a very interesting exercise of 1954, which was in the Tolstoy range in Orenburg. It was called Operation Snowball. where the Russians were quite wary of the fat boy and the small boy that were dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So what they did was they dropped a 40 kiloton bomb on a 300 meter airburst, 40 kT bomb, which was double of the fat boy, and they made 45,000 troops go through it. This was led by Marshal Zhukov at that time. No one got injured. Of course, the first person to enter was the hero of the Soviet Union. You know, that is the, all of you are well averse with what we talk. Has anyone ever given a thought, why is it called Russian roulette and not American roulette or European roulette? It is something about the psyche of Russians. They are risk takers. And I give you a Russian quote, and I quote, it says, "Если солдат говорит да, это значит да. Если солдат говорит нет, это говорит нет. Если солдат говорит может быть, он не солдат." That means if a soldier says yes, it means yes. If a soldier says no, it means no. If a soldier says maybe, he's not a soldier. So this is how the Russian psyche is. We need to understand this because, when we are talking of why the war. So therefore, why was it a special operation? I told you that they are the same race. Now what was given on to the military, that a fast blitzkrieg type operation, you can have a look at the map, from the northern side go to Kiev, from the northwestern side come to Kharkiv, occupy Mariupol and have a southern thrust from Crimea, that is the Black Sea side. That failed because they thought that the whole political system will crumble